What was some of your like most profitable products from beginning until like if you were to pick 2-year profit? Well, you just said Kirkland and
Yeah,
some of those
Kirkland was
brands.
huge for us. Millions of dollars in sales we did with Kirkland.
Fast forward to today, what do you find that some of your most profitable products are?
Yeah. So one of our most profitable products consistently for the past 3 years is a grocery product. It's a health food product. We have a direct relationship with the manufacturer. They're an international conglomerate, so they're in 50 different countries, and we ship maybe 5,000 or 6,000 orders a month with just that one product.
So are you merchant fulfilling those, or are those FBA?
No, we're 100% FBA.
100% FBA.
Yeah.
Okay. And in your how big is your warehouse?
It's 20,000 square feet.
20,000 square feet.
The lease is up in March 1st.
That's unbelievable. The I remember seeing you post pictures of different warehouses that like where you started. You started like from the basement. What was your first? Because again, a lot of the people that watch that are looking to getting warehouses, they're like, oh, is 1,000 square feet too small? Am I going to outgrow it too fast? But a 3,000 square foot warehouse is kind of out of my budget.
Yes.
So what would you say to somebody who wants to like? What was your first warehouse? How big was it? And then what would you recommend to somebody just starting today in 2023?
Yeah. So our first warehouse was 900 square feet. And I would suggest if you're just getting started and you're like, you know what, I think a warehouse could really benefit my business. My home is getting filled up quickly. My garage is packed. Like, what should I start with? I'd say between 800 and 1,500 square feet is pretty reasonable. But it also depends on where you are in the country.
Right.
Miami, that's going to be a nice chunk of change. But if you live in Indiana, you're going to get that dumb cheap.
Kansas City, get a 1,500 square foot warehouse for $200 a month.
They pay you.
Yeah. Miami, man, if you want to get a 1,500 square foot, 2,000 square foot warehouse in Miami, I mean, you're talking at least 5,000-6,000.
Yes,
it's
absolutely.
unbelievable. It's crazy.
Yeah. And it won't have an elevated bay door. It's going to be ground level. So it would probably be old. So you definitely got to do some.
A lot of old architecture here in Florida, in particular.
Yeah,
even up in like Boca and Fort Lauderdale, a lot of older infrastructure. I don't see a lot of newer warehouse structures or anything kind of newer until you go probably about an hour north of Boca, which is kind of hidden like to mid Florida to northern Florida. They started going crazy with constructions.
Yeah.
So you had 19. You said 900 square foot was your first warehouse.
Yes.
How long did it take you to outgrow that warehouse before you decided to go into another warehouse? And then how big was that?
Yeah, it was about a year. So a year, and we moved into a 3,000 square foot warehouse.
That seems like a very like conservative jump. That's a really good.
Yeah.
That's a good number.
Yeah.
900 to 3,000. That seems like that's right on par.
It was perfect. And the cool thing about the new 3,000 square foot warehouse was it had 2 bay doors. At the 800 or 900 square foot, we only had 1 bay door. So the 2 bay doors allowed us, to get deliveries and send deliveries like all at the same time. There was no waiting around.
That's crazy. And then you went from 3,000 to what?
So in the same building, the guy who owned it owned the entire building. So the tenant next door moved out, and we actually knocked down a wall and added an additional 7,000 square feet right in the same building. So we upgraded to 10.
From 9 to 3 to 10.
Yeah.
And then let me guess. You went from 10 to 20.
No.
Okay.
There's an intermediate in there.
Okay.
So we knocked down another wall in the same place, and we upgraded to 15.
Okay.
And it was like an L shape, so it was kind of odd because the products would come in one side, they'd have to go all the way to the other end. It was just a lot of moving stuff around.
Okay.
And we stayed in that 15K square foot warehouse for, I don't know, maybe 2 years.
So to do that twice now, to go from 3 to 10 in the same warehouse.
Yeah.
To go from 10 to 15 in the same warehouse.
Yes.
Now, but you went from 15 to 20.
Yeah, 15. 20
in the
was
same
next
warehouse.
spot. No, 20 was the next spot.
Okay. I was gonna say, so you knocked down 2 walls. You must have. My question was gonna be, you must have had a really good relationship with that either company or person to be able to knock down those walls, right?
Yeah.
Or was that always an option when you signed?
No, we never even considered it. But it just kind of worked that way. He's like, hey, I got these spaces. And we're like, can we knock down the wall? And he's like, yeah, sure. Just knock down the wall. We knocked down enough to get our forklift through. It was maybe 13 feet high. And
because you probably barely had to even move anything, right? Everything kind of stayed where it was, and you just kind of expanded out.
Yeah, we just expanded.
And that's until you moved into your 20,000 square foot.
Yeah,
place.
which is where we are now, where we've been for 4 years. And like I said earlier, our lease is up at March 1st, so we're looking for a bigger space.
You're looking for a bigger space.
Yeah.
You're looking to go into like a 30 or 50?
Yeah, we're looking like 28 to 35.
How big is too big?
I think 50 would be too big.
Too big.
Yeah, for us right now.
Okay.
It would be too, just the expense would be crazy.
Would be crazy.
Yeah,
Man,
talking $70K a month.
$70K a month. If you moved into a 50K.
50, yeah, it'd be like 70 to 80K a month.
That's wild. And that comes out at, well, I guess everything's a tax write-off, maybe.
No. Not everything.
Not tax advice. This is not tax advice. Don't
Not
listen to me.
everything. But yeah, up in New Jersey, the rates, you're looking at $17 to $19 a square foot, sometimes before camp fees, which is like an additional expense. So you're locking in at $19 to $21, which is a square foot, which is a nice chunk of change.
Yeah, that sure is, man. Holy crap.